Hey guys, SeanB, and today I want to talk to you guys about the most frequent question that you might have about Summoner Sword. So I went to America recently and we had an amazing meetup. And what I do at the meetup, I was actually tasked with an account review corner workshop kind of thing. So people bring their account to me and they ask me a lot of question. And I had a really fun time. I managed to help 15-20 people in like 5 hours. I don't know, it was a very long meetup and I was just constantly like,
hey, what do you need help with?
like, yes sir, it's like a McDonald's. Okay, but then I was only able to help a very small amount of people, but there are so many people asking many questions about summoners every single day, and hopefully it will help you guys if you have the same question. Before we move on, I need to tell you guys about today's channel sponsor, Myth of Moonrise. It is a thrilling match 3 strategy game set in a supernatural world with vampires, demons, werewolf, and other legendary creatures. And even though match 3 is the core gameplay of this game, there are many things to do in the game itself. The first thing is to rebuild your home. So this base right here, you will build up slowly by exploring hidden areas around the map. You have to battle enemies to take the land back from them, and these battles are not easy at all. And each hero I have possess different skill as well. Like this girl will shoot a beautiful rose to the enemy doing some massive damage, or this girl can heal the entire team. So as you rebuild your home, there's also a story mode with different stages as you explore the deeper, thrilling, immersive storyline of this game and explore the world and fight off so many different enemies. Oh my god, they look very scary right here. And right now is Myth of Moonrise first anniversary, so there are so many events going on right now for you to play, which mean a lot of amazing rewards in the game. So if you start today, there's going to be a gift code worth $19.99 on the screen. Use the gift code and start your journey with Myth of Moonrise with the link down below. Big shout out to Myth of Moonrise for sponsoring this video. But if you have more questions about Summoner Sword that was not answered in this video, then let me know in the comment section down below. And if you were there at the meetup and I managed to answer your question, let people know in the comment section down below so people know that I'm not bullshitting them, okay? But now let's get to the Q&A section. The most commonly asked question in the meetup was, Sean, how do I do R5? I was like, are you kidding me? People came to me and be like,
dude, I watched your video, amazing, very helpful.
How do I do R5?
I have made so many R5 guide in my 8 years of making Summoner Sword video, and there have been countless variations. So here, let's do it once again. This is my team. Let's take the LD-NAT5 out. It made my team fail, okay? So this has been the same thing that I've been using for the longest time. I have a dedicated video for it. I'll leave a link down below where I talk in detail about the teams. So we have an Inugami team that is rather free-to-play friendly. We have the Baileygir team, also free-to-play friendly. It's only the team on the right that is the biggest problem for most people. So this team works like the Baileygir team. It works in a very specific sequence that we have the Brander that go first when he die, and then I have the damage dealer that is like the Baileygir equivalent on the right team. This guy attack and then the boss jump because I do enough damage. The boss go down, then Laura in the middle with defense break. I have her for attack buff and then defense break. And then my other 2 damage dealer go after this guy boosts their attack bar. Somehow, this guy always boosts the attack bar. So it's very safe. The team works perfectly. But the problem with most people is that you guys can barely build one team in the middle. And a lot of you guys refuse to build this team for some reason. So I think step 1 for people for R5 is to Google how to build this. There are many written guide, very detailed to how much HP, defense, attack, and speed you need for each individual unit on this middle team right here. So I will not go into super detail, okay? Build this team, because without this middle team right here, nobody want to raid with you. Because another problem with R5 is that in the past, this is the content that you do with other people. Being able to build 3 teams is rather complicated, but being able to build the middle team only is not bad. And if you don't have at least this middle team right here, nobody will want to do R5 with you. That is the biggest problem. But a lot of people overlook R4, okay? If you can do Raid 4 with something similar to this, if you can build a solo 3 team for Raid 4 and you can only farm Raid 4, it is totally acceptable to do this, okay? Because the minimum drop for raid 4 is blue grind. And for a lot of people, you guys don't even have any grind. And you guys are missing out on so much stat on every single unit without the blue grind. And being able to do raid 4 consistently every single day is better than not doing any raid at all. So a more approachable team for the right side can be something like this. We have 2 tanks on the front line. We have the Fire Panda, who's actually incredible in R5 nowadays because they buff this skill to do damage according to debuff only, and he can do some respectable amount of damage. And Darien on a full tank build, just defense, HP is more than enough to be in the front line to help your team survive. Some form of healer. You can use Riley. You can also use Annabelle. You can also use Hwahi, a very, very good unit. And they can all work just fine. Just having some heal and attack buff can go a long way. For damage dealer, you can use the Water Twin. If you don't like Water Twin, you want something more approachable, then we have something like these two. They're also very, very amazing, especially for Naomi. She can do a lot of damage with very minimal setup. And also, this guy can cleanse AoE, a very, very good unit. And for the last slot, you can use many different Nat 5, like you can use this guy, you can also use this guy. You can also turn the homunculus to the fire version and use the branding and damage according to debuff skill tree. You can also use Stella for damage, branding, attack by pushback. There are many options, but the core team will just have the Panda, Darien, and the healer, and the 3 other damage dealer. You can mix and match whatever you want, and you're gonna do just fine, okay? If you don't like Panda and you have a Bastet to put in the front line, also absolutely amazing. You can change this to a pure cleanser, or you can just put the Panda back. It's totally gonna be fine as well. And just do raid 4, okay? Grind your runes. You are missing on so much stat. You farm so many runes, but all your runes are like barely any grinded, and it's pissed me off so much, okay? Grind your runes and search for R5 guide, and I wish you good luck in farming raid. That was question number 1. Now question number 2. What should I put for my arena defense? There are a couple different ways you can make a good arena defense to get your first Conqueror 1, 2, or 3. Doesn't have to be a Guardian finish, okay? We start small. You haven't reached Conqueror ever in your life. Start small. The first way to make an arena defense is to have a speed arena defense, which means you have a 33% speed leader. You have some sort of strip like Clara or Triton. You have a follow-up unit like the Wind Beast Rider or the Wind Robo or whatever AoE follow-up that you want, Jean, Rika, whatever you have, doesn't matter. And then you have a damage dealer to make sure that you finish the enemy off. And this is like a speedy defense. If people are not very confident now speeding you, then they will probably not attack you, or you will demolish their offense team. And then there's like the other kind of arena defense, which is the tanky, annoying, passive, bullshit, RNG type. So you have an HP leader. It can be the Fire Bison, it can be Veramos, it can be Wind Monkey King, it can be whatever HP tanky thing that you want to put in there. You have a healer. So a Belial is just the best thing ever. He just cut in between, he heal, he proc 20,000 violent procs, and he make your team lose. Or you can use another healer like Ariel or Praha or your Triana. Also works. You have some sort of bullshit passive unit. So she's very popular because nobody knows when she decides to work, and she nullified the entire enemy team damage. Is very stupid. And then Amduat was a recent Hall of Heroes. You can slap him in there as well, and he can deter people who like to use a Tiana to try and cleave you. And then there are the kind of people that go somewhere in between, right? They have the speed leader, they have the AoE stripper. This guy is the Triton. Some of you guys may not know because he looks absolutely adorable. And then they also have a healer and a follow-up. So they have a mix of a lot of different things to make the arena defense more complicated. And they will go first and disturb your team with a strip somehow. And then when you're trying to kill them, they still have a healer. Because if you go all in on damage for your arena defense, some people will likely to just out-tank your arena defense. They put in healers, Leo. They just take the hit from your Clara, from your Triton, and then they survive, and then they do a lot of damage, and you don't have anything. So the strongest arena defense, like a mix of random bullshit, turn 1, turn 2 in between, so it's very hard to attack. And then there are people who have this guy, and you don't even need to put runes on them, and suddenly your defense are 100% better. Fucking annoying. So depending on your box, depending on your runes, depending on your unit availability, you have to form your own defense. But remember, you can go first, be very aggressive, you can be very tanky, and have a bunch of annoying passive, or you can mix a lot of stuff in between and you're gonna do just fine. Okay? Question number 3. I have XYZ LDNAT5. How do I use such LDNAT5? This one is very broad because each LDNAT5 is very different. But a lot of people who asked that question during the meetup wants to know how to use the LDNAT5 in RTA. The easiest way to know is to go to Spectate, go to Replay, and search for your LDNAT5 and see who used them. And can you replicate the team? Are they winning? So if you find a guy who used the LDNAT5 a lot, you just add the guy to favorite and you see whether he's winning or losing with the LDNAT5 and how does he do it. Just favorite the guy, you watch his replay and you see how he use it and how you can use it in the same way, or maybe you mix with your own unit and you will use such LDNAT5. Or you can also search on YouTube and maybe SeanB has made a video about such LDNAT5. I don't know. I've tried to make video about every single unit in the game that I've ran out of ideas 20,000 years ago. That's the best way to find the way on how to use XYZ LDNAT5. Question number 4, how do I make good Guild War defense? So people are starting out in Siege, they want to make good defense, they want to be useful for their guildies. That's totally fine. But I see the biggest problem with people is that they try to make 10 different defense when their unit are all over the place, their runes are all over the place. That is one of the biggest mistakes, okay? Because to hold one tower, you only need one good defense to hold it. One good defense can hold a tower forever. So consolidate your runes and only focus on 3 to 5 defense to start off, because you cannot make more than that. You just can't. Okay, you don't have the unit, you don't have the runes, you make shitty defense, your defense is gonna perform very badly. It doesn't make any difference for your guild anyway. The first rule of any guild defense nowadays is to have a good balance of elements. It doesn't matter what meta it will be in the future, but you always need some sort of RGB in your defense, because you cannot make single element defense ever in this game anymore. If you put 3 fire units on your defense, it doesn't matter how strong those fire units are. It doesn't matter, okay? Because there'll be unit that can solo the defense with a good set of runes all the time. It's just like that. You put 3 water unit in there, doesn't matter how strong your 3 water unit is. Any half decent wind sniper or wind Anubis can solo the defense all day, every day. So whatever defense you are building, remember to have a good mix of elements and have some sort of kill potential in there. In the lower rank, don't worry too much about meta, just have some fun, create some interesting team to have fun, okay? If your funny team wins all the time, that's the best feeling ever. Don't worry too much about the meta, let the top guild do what the top guild do. They build all the same unit, very boring shit anyway. Just have fun. But remember, if you want your defense to have some chance of winning, mix up the elements, okay? And the reason why Odin or the light Kung Fuger are so popular on defense, because Odin with 5 stack target anyone. So the threat become very randomized. That is the biggest thing you want on your defense. Or the light Kung Fuger just attacks randomly. Her strip, her defense break goes all over the place and she's very annoying. So unit like Orion is very unpredictable, has strip, has defense break to allow your team to focus on a target to do damage, and the defense break can go pretty much anywhere. You can't really tell. And that's one of the best things you can do for your defense, is to add more random bullshit violent procs and defense break that goes all over the place. So I want to give you guys some examples. So we have some sort of strip, damage, healing. We have some random strip, defense break, damage. Once again, random strip, defense break, healing, sustain, random damage. We have strip, damage, healing. We have random strip, damage, healing. You see the theme? Something like that, okay? Mix and match, have fun, build 3 to 5 defenses. Don't build too many because all your defenses will be bad. You'll be useless to your guild anyway. Build some good ones and learn it slowly. Question number 5. How do I start RTA? So RTA is a very, very complicated thing. It's very scary because finally you are playing something that you only have 50% chance to win. The best player in the world has like 60-70% chance to win, which means they lose a lot. And you are going from a bunch of different content where you're winning 90 to 100% of the time to something that you're only winning 50% of the time is very, very scary. And a lot of people have so many units and they're just confused on how to start RTA. So the first thing to do in RTA is to identify what kind of play that you want, because when you look at the replay, there are a couple distinctive type of RTA people like to play. So you see this guy, you see a turn 1 control, damage, aggressive, and over there you have a mix of shit. So if you look at this, the guy on the right is obviously a control heavy damage kind of guy, very aggressive. He will take off your clothes on bed in like 2 seconds. But we have the guy on the left who's more about foreplay. He want healing, he want some sort of cleansing in there. So he's gonna take the beating and he will survive and he will maybe beat the guy on the right. So let's see who's gonna win. So he banned a stripper. He still has a stripper, a lot of damage. This guy has Camilla, he has Rakuni. Hopefully he's gonna survive, maybe. Oh my god, he's getting absolutely demolished. So the guy over there achieved his goal, is to demolish people in like 1 or 2 turns. Do you have the unit for that? Do you have speed leaders? You have Changpeng, Water Ryu, and you have follow-up unit like Charlotte, Savannah, Carnal. You have a lot of control unit. Do you have those? Well, everyone's playing turn 1. Everyone is playing turn 1 nowadays. Look at this. Everyone want to play speed lead and strip into damage. Nobody's playing turn 2 at all. It's so hard to find. Okay, you see, do you have the unit that people on the right have? You have healers, you have Shizuka, you have Gyo, you have Monkey Kings, you have things that are hard to kill and they're immune to stun, or they can self-cleanse like Camilla, Rakuni, stuff like that. Okay, you can play turn 2 or you can set up turn 1 because everyone can potentially have access to the Wind Robo. So a lot of people like to play turn 1. So after you find out you want to play turn 1 or turn 2, then you want to isolate about 5 to 10 units that you are going to play with the most, because most people will only have runes to build 5 to 10 units. Most people, okay? I'm not talking about people who know what they're doing. Most people who are struggling to find a way to even approach RTA can only run 5 to 10 units. And that is totally fine and okay. You only need 5 to 10 units to get to Conqueror anyway. Find out what those 5 to 10 units are. It can be Water Ryu, Changpeng, into Wind Robo, and Shizuka, Gani, whatever that you might have, okay? Identify those 5 to 10 units and only rune them to the best of your possibility and start playing around with a small group of units. The biggest problem with people is they try to rune every freaking unit they have, and they rune stuff that have no skill up in them. They don't even know how to use them properly, but they have one of the best rune on the unit for some reason, okay? So you can never play RTA like that. If you don't take it seriously, RTA is very, very complicated. It's really, really hard to pretty much anyone out there. Maybe except Obabo, okay? That guy is a different breed. But to most people, RTA is very, very hard. And you can only really enjoy it if you take it really seriously. Even if you want to enjoy it low level, you have to start isolating like the couple units that you use the most, and you only rune them. And that's how you start learning, how you start gaining ranks in RTA, and watch more replay. Because if you watch anyone, you will also realize that they only play with 5 to 10 units, and find a person who share the same unit that you have. Maybe not in the best section because they're all Guardian with LD Nat 5 and shit. Okay, every replay has some sort of LD Nat 5 in there. And if you're lucky, you find one replay with down LD Nat 5. So go to community tab, or how is this guy using my face? Wow. Go to buy monster. Just search for the thing that you have and you will potentially find more way to play with the unit. So if you find Changpeng, you will not only see Guardian, you will see some sort of C1, C2, and you will see a more approachable replay by them. And that is going to be much easier to learn RTA, is to see the replay of people who have more relatable rank. Or you want to search for Gani, you will see more Gani replay. And that's how you find way to slowly learn to play RTA as well. If I want to do like an RTA beginner approach, that's going to be a very, very complicated thing. That's gonna be crazy. And the last question, and someone else, what a lot of people ask is, Sean, here's my account. What the hell do I do with this game? I'm lost. I don't know what to do. You need to find a goal. It doesn't have to be RTA. It doesn't have to be PvP. It can simply be making your farming team faster. You haven't built a faster Giants or Dragons team. Are your runes on them better? Have you really optimized the rune on your Trikaru? Have you tried your best to make your vert hit really, really hard to make your run team a little bit faster? Have you done all of that? Have you farmed everything? And you don't need to have farming team for all the dungeon available at once, okay? A lot of people like to have runes on every single team that they have, but you only farm one thing for months until you see very good improvement. So build a team for one dungeon that you want to farm that month and make that team the best possible. It can be a very good goal. You need to have goal in this game, or else you're just gonna summon and summon. You do some low-level PvP and then you get really bored and you don't know what to do, but you still want to play. You see SeanB, you see Jubago, they kind of enjoy the game at a different level. You want to be enjoying the game in the same way. You need to have goal, and the goal can be very small by just making your farming team faster. After you have done all that, you can start building some siege defense. You can start building some siege offenses, or you can start building that 5 RT unit that SeanB mentioned, but have very specific goal in Summoner's War can go a long, long way. Okay? Because a lot of people play without any particular goal at all. Make that goal very specific. One dungeon team, one siege defense, one RTA team, one arena offense. It can be whatever, but have a small goal and work towards that goal only. Don't summon, don't do random shit. Don't try to build that toy that you see on Kenji. Don't just focus on the shit that you want to do. Okay? And that's how you can progress in this game, is to have small, specific goal. And that's pretty much it. I think that's all the questions people ask me during the meetup. I try my best to answer. Of course, it's going to be better if I answer and look at your box directly and tell you exactly what to do. But I can't do that for everyone. And I was able to do that for a couple, 15, 20 people. And that took me like 3-4 hours. That was crazy. And that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.